Now, leak on the engine. As you can see there, for the past couple of days I have a leak there. It's coming down there and it's dripping here and over the exhaust as well. I thought there might be something to do with that screw missing, the plastic screw on the carburetor, but it's still leaking, so I replaced that plastic screw. It's still leaking, so I'm gonna change the seals on the gaskets on the carburetor, and also I've got the one for the oil pump as well, or the oil mixture oil mixing. I don't know whether it's a pump or what it is, but there's a gasket there down below as well, so I've got that one as well. So I've got that's the gasket, and I've also got a set of gaskets for the carburetor. So as you can see there, so normally it was dripping here, but you can still, it's building up that excess of oil. Well, it looks like oil. I don't think it's a petrol, but it looks like oil. It's very oily, and so hopefully I'm going to change those gaskets, and hopefully that will solve the issue. So when I took out the fuel filter, you can see even better, like there's a big puddle of oil. So when that screw was gone, you couldn't see that, like it was constantly leaking there, so it wasn't that much of it. But now when I put that cover in there, like there's a big puddle of it looks like oil, so I'm pretty sure that that's going to be that gasket. So I'll take it apart and have a look. All those, doesn't seem to be any leaks around here. I'll double check the hoses as well. Right, anyway, I'll open this up and have a look what's going on. To take the carburetor out, you have to take that screw and that one there, sleeve screws, those two, and then the carburetor will come out, but we have to disconnect the oil line and then the fuel line as well to pull it out, and that hose as well. That should be fairly easy to do, I hope. 2 bolts out. I have to disconnect the fuel line. I've disconnected the oil line. I put a screw in there so it's not leaking, it's not dripping the oil. And also you have to disconnect the choke. It's very easy. And then the gas as well, that's quite easy as well. Oil line is out, so I'll take this one out. You can already see it's loose, just a tip on the fuel line. So same as I've done on with the oil line, putting a little bolt in there. You can see it started to show oil, so I have to raise it up a bit. The same with the fuel line. I put an M8 bolt into it and then tighten up, so at least it's not leaking there. So if that fuel line comes down, it's not going to be all over the engine. Right, I have those out loose. I'm just going to take that carburetor out. Sugar. Just what I said, I don't want to have anything covered in oil and petrol. Right. Yeah, I can see this is where it could be here actually. That could be that seal that's leaking, because I can't see any. Well, it is wet now. I'd say look, I'll replace this seal and I'll replace that one. Hopefully that will solve the issue. Alright, that's just typical. The seal that came in, I've ordered them on the SIP website. Exactly what should be a gaskets for the carburetor. So the only sets I've got, it's for the actual carburetor. So make sure when you're ordering something, just check for that gasket and also for this one as well. So it's between the carburetor casing, because this is where I think the leak comes from. That was all covered in oil here, and also this one, I'd say it was leaking through it. So yeah, I have to come back to it again. I thought if they're gonna, they should have been included. Like if you're taking the carburetor out to replace all those gaskets, obviously you've been taking this out completely from there, so that should be included in the set as well to replace. And if you're taking this one out, you should get that one as well. Right. The first set of seals is on the fuel filter. So I've got those two. So that one is the first one to be replaced. And then on that bolt, on that screw that goes on down, there's another one there as well. So that's the first set of that, the one that I've ordered there. Another few gaskets. So if you take that one out, there's the one under the bolt here, one there, and then when you take out the floater, that's the big one there. It's in the back. Right. I've changed that seal there, gasket. There was another one in the back. Looks like that one with some extensions, so it must be of the different model. So they've supplied an extra one, I think, for to cover two different scenarios. They should have just get one of the ones that I really needed. Anyway, I'm left with 3 more, and I found one here, the rubber one, the little one. So that's that little one sorted. And I suppose there's another one in there. I'll have a look in a minute. But that has been replaced. This one has been replaced. The seal up there, seal up here, or gasket here. There's the gasket there as well. I've cleaned 2 nozzles. So I'm just going to take that one out, and I'm going to take this one apart as well and have a look. I'm wondering what is that for. But I'll get to that point. To my surprise, there's no gasket in there, or there's no seal whatsoever on this element. So I still don't know what those 3 are of. I'll keep going then. Now, oil pump. You have 3 screws here. You don't have to take that off. All you need to do is just once you take those 3 screws out, you can pull this element there. Well, I'm just going to clean this off a bit. And then you have, yeah, you can see probably, I'm just hoping that seal was leaking. Right, I'm going to change that as well. Right, that's all cleaned up. There was a lot of gunk built up in there, so I cleaned this up. It's not perfect, but it's flat. It's not sticking out, so it's really flush now surface. And also on the pump itself, there was a lot of gunk built up to it. So make sure that's cleaned as well, because that's where the oil comes in. And I think I found where the leak might be. This part there was a lot of gunk built onto that. It wasn't really even surface, and I think that's where it's leaking. So I have to order that seal there as well, the gasket, and replace that gasket there at the bottom, and also order this one, a new gasket for the base of the carburetor. Right, but you can give a good clean here as well, but not too much, not too deep, get too much into that surface. You just want to get rid of all the gunk. Right, unfortunately I couldn't get those seals out, so I have to order them in. So for the minute I'm just going to reinstall the old ones. It's good to put some grease on them. Sometimes when I used to do that back in the days, where you put a grease over the seal and it was like a new seal, but I don't even have a grease now. So I'll try to reassemble it. There's a new seals in there. I ended up with a few leftover seals, like this one. I've noticed on the manual it says it's of the different model carburetor, so that's they gave us an extra one. Well, anyway, I'm gonna put this back in there. All seals replaced, all the gaskets, rubber seals. Hopefully it's not gonna leak now. But again, with those 2 old seals, I bet it's gonna leak from those 2 anyway, so I'll come back to it. Now, that's all fixed. Fuel connected. I open up the valve and there's no leaks, so that's a good sign. So the valve on the float is okay. I'll give a few kicks dry. Let's see if the... Nope, still no petrol going through. Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, I can see some petrol now. Right, I'm going to kickstart it and see how it goes. Right, after a few kicks, it's finally got fuel, so let's try again. Works! So I took the bike for a spin, and after a day, you can see it was still leaking not that much as last time, as previously, but when I opened this up, you can see the traces of the oil building up again. So this is that seal of the gasket that I haven't replaced, so I'm going to do that now. I've got a set of gaskets, like this one. So I need the one on top, I need this one, and that one, I think, out of the whole set. So I'm going to change them now, and hopefully that will solve the issue. But anyway, replacing all those gaskets that I've done previously, it didn't really fix that issue. Well, it did reduce it, but it didn't really replace it altogether. So I'm going to do that now.